Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another season, another month, another year of the GSL, the Global StarCraft League, GSL Season 1 for 2025, the Qualifiers. I'm, of course, ZvT with you, and joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and not by my plushies, by chains. I'm chained up, baby. Aye. Good to see you all. Good to see you all once again for the second time today. This is our second broadcast and our second GSL cast. If you weren't here for it, 6 hours ago we were live on this channel. We were covering the first half of the GSL qualifiers. I say first half, the first third of the qualifiers. We covered 6 best of threes, 6 qualifying matches, a lot of really fun series. We only had one series that actually had macro games. It was crazy. A lot of all-ins, a lot of intense matches. I do recommend the VODs. Do check it out over on our YouTube or here on Twitch temporarily, as Twitch, they don't actually hold or maintain VODs for an extended period of time, so YouTube is the place to be for VODs. And again, we were able to feature players like Maru, players like Hero, Classic, Shin as well. Many Rainer also played in the qualifier. We also covered his matches, Björn, Zaun, and many others. So we did cover all those qualifying matches. Do check it out over on our YouTube. We are here with the second half. What's that? God, I keep saying that. The second third of the qualifiers. Now, the reason why I say second third is because there's a lot of matches. There are 16 best of threes. We just wrapped up with 6 of them this morning. Now we have another 6 this evening. Let's go. 6 best of threes back to back. Because of that, we are going to be wrapping up GSL qualifiers tomorrow. The plan here, actually, you know what? Let's have a look together. But the current plan, the current schedule, I should say, initially the schedule was, as you can see here, Tuesday morning, we had our first GSL qualifier cast. Now Tuesday evening, we have our second cast, and we were going to be casting the third cast, the final stretch of GSL qualifiers on Thursday, as you can see on Thursday. And then I realized, hold on, GSL starts tomorrow. that empty spot after Pegasaur, after the Pegasaur Weekly, that is when GSL is starting. That is when GSL is beginning. So I feel like I gotta wrap up the qualifiers before GSL begins. So because of that, the plan currently, and we'll see if I can go through with the plan, is we're gonna wrap up, of course, today. Tomorrow, after the Pegasaur Weekly, after that weekly tournament, bam, GSL casts. We're going to go from Pegasaur Weekly, and we're going to extend the broadcast and go bam right into the GSL qualifiers, wrap up the GSL qualifiers, and then bam, GSL starts. and then the season of GSL, the main event, the group stage, does begin tomorrow evening, just after we wrap up the qualifiers. That's going to be the plan. So we will have to adjust the schedule a little bit. Again, the schedule's already jam-packed, so we're going to have to squeeze in some more casting and probably put like another broadcast Thursday morning instead. As a lot of content, a lot of casting, a lot to come, as always on the CranKy Ducklings. Aye. So that is going to be the plan. Likewise, when it comes to our matches here today, we do have our current lineup. Bam, here we go. We have our lineup here. We have our matches. These are going to be our 6 best of threes of the broadcast. We have a Cure. We have Cure versus Solar up first in a TVZ. The loser of that series goes up against Bunny, as that is going to be the next set of matches ahead of us. So do look forward to that. Just quickly updating, quickly setting up. But yes, so bearing in mind that the matches we're about to cover are Group D. So we already casted Group A, Group B, and Group C. Now we're jumping into Group D, where we're going to be featuring Cure, Solar, and Bunny fighting for 2 qualifying spots. And then the 4 matches after those, you might be recognizing some of these players. You're like, hold on, these players already qualified. Björn, Gumiho, Maru, Hero, Classic, Rainer, those players in the later portion of the broadcast, those players, they all qualified for GSL already. Apparently they had a new system in place. My apologies, I assumed 16 best of threes. Those are 16 qualifying matches. That is not true. Only 12 players make it into GSL. GSL has been slimmed down, only a 12-player event, which is crazy, by the way. And what we have after the first two best of threes, those are seeding matches. Those are matches to be seeded further into the tournament past the initial group stage. So yes, so players like, again, Byan, Gumiho, Maru, Hero, Classic, Reiner, they're all in GSL, but those are going to be seeding matches to determine who can skip the first round and who can be seeded directly into group stage 2 and avoid group stage 1. So that is what that is going to be, just as a heads up. And tomorrow, after the Pegasaur weekly tournament, we are going to be going over the last chance qualifiers. Players that didn't make it into GSL, players that barely didn't make the cut through these initial qualifying groups, they all get seeded together into like a last chance, like a wildcard qualifier sort of setup, to then have a final opportunity to make it into GSL. That'll be tomorrow. But for now, here are our 6 best of 3s. We will be getting into it. First things first, we have that TVZ between Cure and Solar. Let's go, baby. Let's go. As we are jumping in, game 1 is going to be on Amygdala. Likewise, for those that weren't here this morning, when it comes to these qualifiers that were played last week, there was no live coverage of the qualifiers themselves. All of the coverage has been via replays, and because these were played out last week, it was actually before the ladder map pool got updated and went live, so all the qualifying matches, all the maps are the previous map pool, including maps like Neo Violet Square, King's Cove, Abyssal Reef, and maps like this, Amygdala, and Ley Lines. And spawning in the top right corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. Just catching with the chat. Share my papi, share my. Good to see you. Good to see you. See the Alpha guys. See Psycons as well. Seaberg, welcome. Bienvenidos. Good to see you all. As again, we are here with our second GSL qualifier broadcast of the day. And again, tomorrow we are going to be wrapping up the final qualifying matches. Oh boy. It's a lot of content, there's a lot of matches, a lot of StarCraft. Likewise, we will most likely be also casting GSL proper via replays as well. Not casting it live, of course, but we'll most likely, traditionally we often do cast the group stage at least. I think we usually leave the playoffs for, we just don't cover the playoffs, and we just leave that for, Tasteless and State and the other Korean casters to just, to have a monopoly on those casts. We might change that here. I say we might, like our schedule's already jam-packed. Like squeezing in some GSL casts, it's not easy. It's not easy finding the room to actually have time to cast it, so we'll see. We shall see, especially considering that GSL Season 2 is at the end of the month, so there's very little time to actually squeeze in those casts and wrap everything up and wrap up Season 1 before Season 2 begins. For now though, we are of course still in the qualifying stages, and we have our initial Hatchcast pool, standard opener out of Solar. Likewise across the map we have a Cure going for his own ranks expand as well. Nothing crazy, nothing too wild so far. Standard openers, standard builds. We don't really expect too much deviation in the early game, but we have seen Cure be hyper aggressive and go for 8 racks and 3 base all-ins quite often, especially on some of these smaller maps. And I would say that Ley Lines does count as one of them, especially in this map pool, the previous one. As Reaper does poke in, dancing with the army, dancing with the Lings, and Queen will zone away. So far, nothing major here, just dancing with the army. We do see the third base being taken from Solar, taking his third on location, and Cure dips in, trying to make sure that everything's on the up and up. And again, there's very low chance that there would be like extra gases or a lair or a roach warren. Again, we see Solar does pull out of gas, so no early tech, no early shenanigans. We're settling in. Now the Reaper is going to be forced back. It's going to be forced back. Likewise, it's going to be saturating. Third CC is on the way, so it's going to be 3 CC before Starport, so later Starport, faster third command center. It's add-on swap into Banshee. So again, this is kind of, oh, never mind. I was going to say into Banshee, but no, we have a Liberator on the way instead. So a bit of a cheeky setup here. It's not going to be as committed. Banshee play does keep you safe against Roach-based play, but Solar isn't really too much of a Roach player, not like Shin or Dark or Rogue, for example. Solar, out of all the Korean Zerg players, he's more so a Ling Bane kind of player here, so I do appreciate going into the Liberator instead, preserving that gas, and eventually switching and going into, oh, earlier stim as we do fake out Cloak. Let's go. Solar dips it with the Link Scout. Solar, he does see the Researching Tech Lab, so this will force Solar to set up early spores and also get them into mineral lines to prepare against Cloak Banshee. Banshees that are not coming. So nice fake out here from Cure. Meanwhile, it's going to be a lair first out of Solar. Does open lair first, very safe setup. Meanwhile, oh my god, we're going to early Marauder production. With this, we can go for an Armory and go for an early Hellbat push. Yep, there it is. Armory is on the way. Hellbats are upon us. Let's go. So it's going to be a Hellbat Concussive Marauder here out of Cure. As a reminder, this is not an all-in. This is a macro Hellbat push. It does mean that there are going to be less units to work with, less Hellbats, less Marauders, in favor of a faster third CC. And this is going to be designed to trade. Designed to trade against Lings, trade against Queens, to force out units to delay any kind of economy and delay worker production. Liberated into the main base. Does get one drone kill so far. Gets one, does pull away. Army is amassing, waiting for those reinforcements, waiting for the medevac. And we'll see if Solar will have enough to defend. He does have a decent chunk of Lings. Yes, 15 Lings here. That's going to be okay. The Queen is also somewhat in position. But here come the reinforcements. How many Hellions in total? We have, Jesus, 12 Hellions? Oh, he never went off. True, he never went for the add-on swap. Just mass Hellion here. That is insane. That's going to be 12 Hellbats. And here we go. He's moving in. Is committing. He wants those Queens. Does go for the morph. Yeah, Hellbats, they do transform. And we have 9 Banelings on the way. Now, these Banelings, they should shut this down, but actually he's getting himself the Banelings. Already 1, 2 Banelings going to be denied. Can he get the others? It's going to be close. Nah, he won't. Yeah, they will finish. Banelings, they smash on in. And Banelings, they do with a good half of those Hellbats, and the rest will be cleaned up. Yeah, the rest are cleaned up. Ambitious move there from Cure, but he could not deny the Banelings, and once they were done, Solar holds. Whew, Solar, he does hold on. Again, Cure, he took all the Banelings to the face. To the face, man. Likewise, Solar, he preserves all the Queens. He saves the 4th base. Solar in a very strong position here. This was so committed out of Cure, it was not worth it. Now, bear this in mind. Because of the reactor factory production, because of the continued Hellion production, that means less bio. That means less Marines to work with. Less bio, less of a follow-up as well. And Solar does catch the stragglers. Take down the Hellbats, the Marauders as well. Brutal losses here for Cure. With that Solar, he can drone. He can drone freely here, getting up to 4 base saturation. A 5th base is on the way. Extra gas is being taken as well. We're taking up into Ling Bang and a Hydra. And Solar, looking good. Looking perfectly fine. Looking comfortable. Alas, Cure, his initial opener here does fall in its face. We still have more Hellions in production, by the way. I mean, this will keep Cure somewhat safe here, but again, Hellions and Hellbats don't really scale too amazingly into a longer game. They at least give Cure some map control there. They give him some map control. Does catch a couple of active tumors. Again, he's doing a recant to keep a Solar pinned back. But again, this also means that the main army is that much weaker. Not much smaller. The bio army, I mean. ZvT follow-up Overseer Scout. Gets eyes on the production. Yo, the contaminate. Let's go. Does contaminate concussive shell. Something you don't see too often. I mean, I rarely see a contamination on the tech lab of all things, so really cool to see. Does delay. Here comes the second round. And remember, we have not been stopping reactor and Hellion production, going for another 9 Hellions. Another 9 Hellbats. Here comes the second wave, the second push with Hellbats. Hellbats are morphing in. Meanwhile, that was 8 SCVs going down. But this time there are more. This time there are more Banelings. This time there are Hydras to defend as well. Solar should have a much more secure defense. Does smash in, takes down the Hellbats. Hellbats go down, and remember, there's barely any Marines left. There's barely any Bio. And he gets shut down. At the same time, Link Roll by GG gets called, and Solar will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Solar, he will take a lead in the series, and again, a very peculiar build out of Secure. I say peculiar, a very odd build, not standard at all. I honestly haven't really seen this too often. I have seen 3cc Hellbat. That is, you know, I wouldn't say normal, but well, you see it every now and then, right? 3cc Hellbat, but this was, he kept making Hellions. Like, he just did not stop. He basically put himself all in, going up to 12 initially, and then an extra wave of Hellions behind that as well. Very committed play there by Cure, very desperate it felt like as well, and unfortunately at the same time he was losing SCVs back at home. He was losing workers at the third base, he had no economy, he couldn't maintain himself. GG. GG well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Amygdala. Let's go. We'll see if Solar can close this out, or if Cure can bounce back and force the ace match. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid, down in the series with, again, a very committed Hellbat play and Hellbat build last game. It is Cure. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself, the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. We go. Solar does open up hatch gas pool. Relatively standard opener, going for the initial extractor trick. Outside of that, we're settling in. With this, we might go for delayed gases here, so interesting setup. With this, I'm not too fond of going gasless on Amygdala, so we'll see when the gases are eventually taken. As he's going hatchery, or 15-15, 15 hatchery into a 15 spawning pool, into delayed gas. Interesting. Now, this kind of style and this kind of build that we're seeing from Solar is often seen on maps where you are more secure on 3 bases. I'm referring to Abyssal Reef. Now, what does Abyssal Reef have? Abyssal Reef has a ramp coming into the natural with a very narrow choke point, so you can wall off very easily and focus your defenses at your third base. Or Neon Violet Square, where you have a pocket base as well. Or even maps like King's Cove, which also have a ramp coming into the natural. Doing this kind of build here on Amygdala, it does feel quite greedy. I mean, we have seen players get away with it just because it can be awkward to rotate Hellions, but if Cure can recognize how greedy Solar's being, then we have seen Terran players punish this before. What I'm getting at when I'm referring to what we're punishing here, gasless style here out of Solar, because that no link speed. There's going to be no link speed here this game. Solar, he's going to defend with purely queens and a handful of slow links, which is possible on some of those more defensive maps. Here on a map that's a little bit more open, it can be abused if Cure realizes what's going on. Specifically, what you can go for is you commit, kind of like last game, into additional Hellions, and if you realize there's no link speed, you can just rush past. You can rush past the queens, bust into a mineral line, roast up everything, and you can end the game. A good example of this is EWC last year. EWC Clem versus Serral. I want to say Serral went for this opener like 3 games in that series, and Clem killed Serral 3 games in that series with Hellion run-bys, with Hellion dives, I should specify. So there are ways to punish this. As Solar, he's going for the linear third base. Behind this 3cc setup here by Cure, so never mind, he's going for an economic start. Okay, so with this Solar, he should be getting away with this. There's still potential for Cure to maybe find some Hellion damage as we're about to go for the add-on swap, but for the most part, things are looking good here for Solar. If you're curious how would Clem punish this, he'd go for a 1-1-1. He would delay his third CC, he'd go for a faster starport and commit to hyper aggression. But that is not happening here for Cure. Reaper does dip in. Will threaten the main. Solar so far is keeping up. Reaper does confirm no link speed and the slow links themselves, so he knows. So Cure, he's fully aware what's going on. He's fully aware that gas mining is still occurring. Now, because link speed is so late, typically the Zerg player in this position would skip link speed entirely and go straight into roaches. And speaking of, there it is, roach warren gets right now. So this is all just a roach build here by Solar. He should also be walling off with an Evo chamber, and that's a way to deter Hellion dives, is to wall off this ramp and wall off this natural, and to set up and to minimize kind of attack avenues from his opponent. The tumor is not helping, but we'll set it up. Yeah, I guess does have to kill his own tumor to properly wall off. Evo chamber's on the way. Reaver goes back in, confirming, and not just getting economic damage here, but also confirming still no link speed. As Hellions, they poke in towards the right hand side, drones are exposed, forcing out an Evo chamber. No drone kills though. So far, Solar, he defends well. So far, he's keeping up. Are poking in. Likewise, faster lair here. Oh, I say faster lair. It's going to be a lair opener or lair followed up by Solar to get into roach speed and get into +1 range. Hellions are denied, and this is the reason why you can get away with this on Amygdala. As you can see, this Hellion rotation, we go from the top side to the bottom side. To do so, you have to go all the way back home and go all the way down the south side to actually pull off this rotation. So that is the one upside of trying to get away with this on Amygdala, is rotations. You have to go all the way around the map to go from 1/4 to the other fourth, or 1/3 to the other third. So yeah, these rotations take so long. Banshee pokes in. Solar, he does secure himself here with his gases, with his spore, with his queens. Banshee so far 3 drone kills. Hellions poke forward. They're going for the mineral line. And drones getting roasted out. 3 drones. Yeah, oh my god. 3 getting up to 5. Getting up to 6. Yeah, 6 extra workers going down. That's going to be 13 in total. Ay, ay, ay. And Hellions are pushing in towards the left-hand side as well. Can he wolf in time? Up! Oh, can he? No, he cannot! The wall is denied. Hellions, they dive in. This is what we spoke about. This is how you punish this build. Without link speed, the Hellions, they can just run rings around your army as more drones are getting roasted. And this is the risk you take with this build. As we add up to 13, how many? Up to 20! Oh god, 20 workers going down. Ay, ay, ay. 20 drone kills and still not done. Going for another volley here at the natural. Barely doesn't get an extra drone, but still 20 workers is worth it. 20 workers for 7 Hellions. Really, what this does is this puts to shame the Hellbats in game 1. that was 12 Hellbats. They killed 0 drones. Here, the 7 Chad Hellions killing 20 workers, baby. Ay, ay, ay. And again, part of it, or most of it, of course, is because of the build, right? Again, as you mentioned, this is where these Zerg players are at its most vulnerable, because there is no link speed, because they're trying to rush into roaches, and Solar, he gets punished for it. Now from here, Cure, he's in a solid position. He's following up. He's not stopping, not slowing down. We have double drop towards the top side. We have our Banshee play towards the south side as well. Banshees are ideal against Roach play just because Roaches don't shoot up. And if Solar did attempt to punish or counterattack with Roaches, then the Banshees would completely shut them down. So we have Banshees towards the south side. We have double drop towards the top side. Cure looking to pull Solar apart. Dust him in. Stims in, takes down the tumors, takes down the spore, catches a queen as well, and an overseer, not bad. Yeah, nice pickups here, stimming in, while does not connect. Pick up there by Cure as he heads into the main. Getting a drone. Let's get one. 1, 2, 3 drones going down. Once again, not bad, it's all adding up. Likewise, active tumors also being focused as well. Taking out all 4 active tumors. And behind this, Cure has been building up. He's been banking up his army. We have Marines. We have 3 tanks. And we're pushing. We're making 2 tanks at a time. Double factory. Oh my god. Double factory behind this. Cure, he's pushing. And this is going to be a tough hold here for Solar. As Solar has been re-droning throughout the course of this game. Almost 30 drone kills. He's trying to build up. There's no active tumors here, no creep. He has no forewarning of what's coming his way. Until now. Here the army is revealed. Curie stems in. Does catch the roaches. Oh, Files things. Oh, the 3 medivacs. Oh my god. Does catch 3 medivacs. Not bad, but GG gets called. The army still overwhelms regardless. And Cure, he will tie up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, a bold build there out of Solar opening up gasless. As we mentioned, as we emphasized, there are ways to punish, and I was a little bit concerned that Cure wouldn't be able to punish. Remember, I mentioned how typically a secure way to shut that down is to go for a 1-1-1. Cure, he went 3 CC instead, but despite that, he still popped over those Hellions. He still made his way into the main base. Solar, he was 1 second too late to fully wall off, and with that failed wall, GG. That was GG then and there. That was crippling damage. That was over 20 workers going down. And with that, Cure snowballed out of control. And now we're jumping into game number 3, jumping into Ultra Love. Let's go. Let us go. Again, when it comes to players that can punish gasless openers quite well, at the top you have Clem, but right under him you have Cure, his teammates. You know, they are teammates, they do practice, they do discuss the game amongst themselves, and again, he was able to likewise shut that down as well. And here we go, we're getting into the ace match, we're getting into game 3, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. He is the Cure. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. As, oh, Cure, he's the one to mix it up this time. We got some builds. We are opening up 2-Rax Reaper. Let's go. Now, I'm assuming 2-Rax Reaper, technically, we could see a 3rd Rax in the main, so we'll keep an eye on Cure. He might choose to delay his CC and get a faster or get another Rax and commit even harder to Mass Reaper. That is a viable build that is available. Otherwise, 2-Rax Reaper is, again, solid enough. You know, a hatch gas pool, standard open out of Solar. This time, doesn't play gases. I'm speaking of 3-Rax Reaper. Good thing we brought it up. There it is. 3rd Rax is on the way. So 3-Rax Reaper here out of Cure. This is a very aggressive. This is not an all-in. Don't get this twisted. This is not an all-in, but this is committed. This is aggressive, and this does have to get damage done. As behind this, Cure will expand. Now, the purpose of this build, typically 2-Rax Reaper, the purpose is to delay the 3rd. Delay the 3rd base and contain the Zerg player on 2 bases for as long as possible. Now they're going up to 3 Raxes. Delaying the 3rd is not good enough. Now we do need more damage, some drone damage, Ling pickoffs, Queen pickoffs as well. Now Cure is how much more dedicated to this. We'll see what he can get done. We shall see. As Cure does move out. Behind this, he should be soon expanding. Again, the expansion is delayed in favor of that 3rd Rax. And Solar with the Overlord will soon confirm. He knows. There we go. He sees the depot, so he knows the low ground setup. He is aware. First drone barely doesn't go down. Secure pulls away. Does pull away, dancing with the Lings. Picks off 1 already. So it takes down 1 Ling, and again, these are all good things for Cure. Takes down a 2nd Ling, takes down a 3rd Ling as well. Yeah, 3 Lings go down, a drone does fall. Massive pickup. But this is merely the beginning. As Reapers, they pick off another Zergling. Nice control, does pull away. Behind this, massing up more Reapers. You can see the SCV's in position to expand. There it is, a natural is on the way. And so far, 4 Lings and 1 drone, and of course, Solar's contained, right? Again, this is the bare minimum, is to contain the Zerg player, but because of the commitment into Mass Reaper, we need to trade well against Lings and even pick off some drones. And a lot of Lings are going down. Most Lings even. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, that is brutal. 10 Lings so far. 1 Reaper finally goes down. Cure does overextend. Cure going further in. Deeper into the bases. Oh, doesn't get a drone. Has to pull out. And Link speed is done. Now the link speed is complete, Solar, he can punish this, and Cure has to be that much more careful. Now the link count is not high enough to really threaten this army, not yet. Takes out a tumor, takes down both tumors. And that delays the creep. Meanwhile, Solar, he expands. Cure, he may be able to force a cancel. Speaking of may, he will. Yeah, he will force a cancel. Not enough lings. Lings are trying to come in for a surround or even counterattack. A drone goes down. And now Cure, he has to get out of here. Now he has to race back home. We have more lings on the way. No gas income, so no Bane nest. There's no Bane bust follow-up. But you can see that Solar, he is looking for those Reapers. Back at home, here comes that transition into Stim. So we have Stim, +1, saturation at the natural. Reapers, they force another cancel. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, this is solid damage, but can he get out? Yeah, Solar, he's hunting for the Reapers. And Cure, they should not be able to slip away. Yeah, he's going to be cornered here. Solar will hunt him down, gets a full surround, and the Reapers are finally cleaned up. Yeah, much more efficient trade here for Solar towards the end, but his third base is so late. It's such a late third. He lost how many? He lost 17 Zerglings, he lost 3 drones, he lost like 3 tumors as well, and of course 3 cancellations on the expansion. And back at home, Cure is safe. Cure, he's safe and sound. Lings, they can't do anything here. If there was extra gas income, if there was a Bane nest, then Solar could try to Bane bust, but at this point it's too little too late. So Cure, he's secure. And Cure is establishing and getting into his 2-1-1 setup. So Cure, he's building up towards Stim, towards 16 Marines, and a double medevac drop. There's the add-on swap. Here come both medevacs. So medevacs are on the way. So until these medevacs arrive, Cure, he's stuck at home, but soon he can push once again. And the momentum is in favor of Cure. This third base is late. Cure is going to be looking to trade against Lings, trade against Queens. To catch up, Solar, he double expands. He has to double expand here because he's so delayed. So the third and the fourth base are on the way. This is a way to recover. This is a way to catch up. But the pressure is on Solar. And here comes Cure. A very beyond move out, actually. Cure, he moves out without his medevacs. Here you go. Medevacs now on the way. Cure, he does push. Solar behind this, he has mass Ling Queen and no Banelings. Baneling nest is done. Baneling speed just began. But 0 Banelings ready for this. Likewise, nice Solar stepping against the Lings. Oh, Lings, they can just get roasted. But they get mowed down. Yeah, there's no Lings. There's no Lings. He's done it. The Stim timing is too great. Takes out all the Lings, all the Queens. And Cure, he breaks on through. GG gets called. And Cure, he will take the series 2-1. GG. Cure, he takes the series. And Cure, he qualifies for GSL. GG, well played. Congratulations. Cure, he is our next player to qualify. Solar, he is knocked down. Solar, he is knocked down here to the lower bracket, to the losers match, or to, I should say, the second chance to qualify. Here we go. So again, a very strong showing there by Cure, very aggressive as well, both in this game as well as Amygdala. We saw Cure really flex his more aggressive tendencies, and I feel like Cure, he's more known for being a little bit more passive, being a little bit more standard in his play, but really did show his more aggressive tendencies here in this series, and Solar had a really hard time keeping up, both in game 2 and in game 3. GG, well played. With that, Cure, he does qualify, and up next we have our next series, our next best of 3. Up next we have another ZvT, this time between Solar and his teammate Bunny. Let's go.